श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्दा गोविन्दा सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। यस्वानुभावमखिल श्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धं संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां। योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे संसारसर्पदष्टं यो विष्णुरातममुमुचत् कालव्यालमुखग्रास त्रासनिर्नाशहेतवे श्रीमद्भागवतं शास्त्रं कलौकीरेण भाषितम् एतस्मादपरं किञ्चित् मनःशुद्ध्यै न विद्यते जन्मान्तरे भवेत् पुण्यं तदा भागवतं लभेत्। ज्ञानवैराग्यसम्पूर्णान् हरिभक्तिपरायणान् पूर्वाचार्यातहं वन्दे सम्प्रदायप्रवर्तकान्। भगवन्नाम साम्राज्य लक्ष्मी सर्वस्व विग्रहं श्रीमद्बोधेन्द्रयोगीन्द्र देशिकेन्द्रम् उपास्महे। कलिकालोचितं धर्मं नाम संकीर्तनात्मकं निर्णेतुम् अवतीर्णं तं प्रेमिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। हरे रामेति कृष्णेति नाम संकीर्तनं सदा लोकक्षेमाय कुर्वन्तं प्रेमिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयात् इतरतश्चार्तेषभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषिभिस्तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुक्त्यर्थं भवसागरे। मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यो दासोऽहं तव केशव। श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्दा गोविन्दा सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I think 18 we had done until 40, so we can do a 2020 review maybe. Sindhuji, can you do 1 to 20? Then Sriram, can you do 21 to 40?
Sure, Rajesh.
अथ अष्टदशोऽध्यायः। सूत उवाच यो वै द्रौण्यस्त्रविप्लुष्टो नमादुरुदरे मृदः अनुग्रहात् भगवतः कृष्णस्याद्भुतकर्मणः ब्रह्मगोबोधिदाद्यस्तु तक्षगात् प्राणविप्लवाद् न सम्मुमोहोरुभयाद् भगवत्यर्पिताशयः उत्सृज्य सर्वतः सङ्गं विज्ञादाजिद संस्थितिः वैयासकेर्जहौ शिष्यो गङ्गायां स्वं कळेबरं नोत्तमश्लोकवार्तानां जुषदां तत्कथामृतं स्यात् सम्भ्रमोऽन्धकालेऽपि स्मरतां तत्पदाम्बुजम् तावत् कलिर्न प्रभवेद् प्रविष्टोऽपीह सर्वदः यावदीशो महानुर्व्याम् आभिमन्यव एगराड् यस्मिन्न हनिर्ह्येव भगवानुत्सर्जगाम् वृत्तोऽसौ अधर्मप्रभवः कलिः नानुद्वेष्टि कलिं सम्राड् सारङ्ग इव सारभुक् कुशलान्याशु सिद्ध्यन्ति नेतराणि कृतानि यद् किं नु बालेषु शूरेण कलिना धीरभीरुणा अप्रमत्तप्रमत्तेषु यो मृगो नृषु वर्तते उपवर्णितमेतद्वः पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कदो भेदम् आख्यानं यदपृच्छदा या कदा भगवतः कथनीयोरुकर्मणः गुणकर्माश्रया पुंभिः संसेव्यास्ता बुभूषुभिः ऋषय ऊजुः सूदजीवसमा सौम्य शाश्वतीर्विशदं यशः यस्तं शंससि कृष्णस्य मर्त्यानाममृतं हिनः कर्मण्यस्मिन्ननाश्वासे धूम्रात्मनां भवान् आपाय यदि गोविन्द पादपद्मासवं मधु तुलयामलवनोऽपि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवम् भगवत्सङ्गिसङ्गस्य मर्त्यानां किमुदाशिषः.
Which is that first line? Tulayama lavenapi. Then I heard
तुलयाम लवेनापि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवम् को नाम तृप्ये रसवित्कथायां महत्तमैकान्तपरायणस्य नान्दं गुणानामगुणस्य जग्मुः योगेश्वराये भवपाद्ममुख्याः तन्नो भवान् वै भगवत्प्रधानो महत्तमैकान्तपरायणस्य हरेरुदारं चरितं विशुद्धं शुश्रूषदां नो विदनोदु विद्वन् स वै महाभागवतः परीक्षित येनापवर्गाख्यमभ अदभ्रबुद्धिः ज्ञानेन वैयासकि शब्दिदेन भेजे खगेन्द्रध्वजपादमूलम् तन्नः परं पुण्यमसंवृदार्थम् आख्यानमत्यद्भुतयोगनिष्ठम् आख्याह्यनन्दाचरितोपपन्नं पारीक्षितं भागवताभिरामम् सूत उवाच अहो वयं जन्मभृदोऽस्य स्म वृद्धानुवृत्त्याभिविलोमजाताः दौष्कुल्यमादिं विदुनोति शीघ्रं महत्तमानामभिधानयोगः कुतः पुनर्गणदो नाम तस्य महत्तमैकान्तपरायणस्य योऽनन्दशक्तिर्भगवानन्दो महद्गुणत्वाद् यमनन्दमाहुः एतावदालं ननु सूजितेन गुणैरसाम्यानतिशायनस्य हित्वेतरान् प्रार्थयतो विभूतिः यस्यां ह्रीरेणुं जुषदेन भीप्सोः.
Rajesh, sorry, I didn't practice, so please bear with me.
Okay. Jayashree, நீங்க பண்றீங்களா? If you want to do it, you both do it together. Jayashree, if you want to lead it.
Yeah.
I will try.
Okay.
I'll try my level best.
Okay.
Yatranurakta sagasaiva
No, 21. Athapi yatpada.
Oh, Athapi yatpada nagavasrishtam jagat virinchobhridarhanampaha sesam punatyanya damo mugundat ko nama loke bhagavat padartaha yatranurakta sagasaiva dhiraha vyabbohya dehadishu sankamodam vrachanti tat parama hamsa madyantyam yasmin nahim soba sumi swadharmaha.
And the third line, tat parama hamsyam antyam.
Oh, okay. Chanti tat parama hamsyam antyam yasmin nahim sobasham
Tamaswadharmaha.
Okay. Aham hi prashtor yamano bhavat viraha achakshu atmavagamotreyavan nabhav padantyatmasamam padatrinaha. எனக்கு வரல நீ படி. Sorry Rajesh.
No worries.
I'm sorry. I usually practice பண்ணிடுவேன். That this week I couldn't do it.
No worries. Jayashree, if you are not comfortable, I can have Vasu or someone else who wants to do it then.
I will try.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want, I can do.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead,
Aham
Jayashree.
prushtoriyamano bhavadbiraha akshasya atma bagamotrayavan nabhav padanyatma samam padatrinaha तदा समं विष्णुगतिं विभश्चिदः एकदा धनुरुत्यम्य विशरन् मृगयां वने मृगानन् अनुगतश्रान्तः दृक्षितोपृशं जलाशयम् असक्षानः पविवेश तमाश्रमं तदर्श मुनिमासीनं शान्तं मीलितलोचनं प्रतिरुद्रेन्द्रिय प्राणमनोबुद्धिम् उपारदं स्थानत्रयात् परं प्राप्तं ब्रह्मभूतमविक्रियं बिभ्रकीर्ण जडाच्छन्नं रौरवे नाजिने न च विशुत्यत्तालुरुदकं तदा भूतमया च
The second line, first word, Vishusyat. Vishusyat talurudakam.
Vishusyat alaptadrinabhumyadihi asampraptarkya sunrudaha avajnadam ivatmanam manyamanaschu kobaha abudapurva sahasa trutyaam artidatmanaha brahmanam pratyabhut brahman matsaro manyurevacha sadhu brahma rusheramse kadasu muragam rusha vinirgaschan tanushkotya nidaya puramagamat yeshakim nibradase shakkarano melidekshanaha mrisha samadhiraho
Samadhir ahosvite.
Mrisha samadhir ahosvite kimnu syat shatra bandhubihi tasya putrodi tejasvi viharan palakot bagaihi rajñagam prapidam dadam shrutva tatredam apravit aho adharmah palanam bhivnam balibhujamiva swamin yakam yat dasanam dwarapanam tsunamiva brahmanaihi chatrabandurhi dwarabalo nirubidaha sakadam tatkrihe twastadaha
Tadgrihe dwastaha. You have dwaha there, right? So it becomes that visarga becomes a is. So you'll have two is sounds there. Dwastaha.
Staha.
Tha. Dwastaha.
Sabandam bhoktumarhadi Krishne kade bhagavadi sastar yutpadakaminam tat binna sedum antyaham sasmi pashyada nepalam ityuktva roshadam roksho yas yan rishipalagah kaushik ubasprishya vakvrajam visasarjah sarjah.
And the first line after the comma is Vayasyan. Okay, Va sound. It starts with the V.
Oh,
Vayasyan.
yes. Vayasyan Rishipalakah. Idi Langida Maryadam Takshagas Shaptamehani Tangshyadi Smakulankaram Chodito Meda Tadatruham Tadopyet Yashramam Palo Kale Sarpakalevaram Pidaram Vikshya Duhkardo Muktakando Rudodaha
Rodaha.
Gundo Rodaha. Sava Angiraso Brahman Shrutva Sudavilapanam Unmilya Shanagai Netre Drishtva Swamse Rudorakam Visrujasya Visrujya Putram Bapracha Vatsa Kasmati Rodishi Kenavade Abakridam Ityuktas Sanyavedayat. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so I think that's where the meaning also, I think we stopped kind of until, I believe until 40 we stopped, right? So another 10 more. So let's complete the meaning of that and then we'll get into this, right? So kind of the very tail end of this chapter. So I think the last chapter we saw how, the Samika Rishi was praying, meditating. Parikshit comes, he puts the dead snake on top of him. Then his son, Shringi, he gets very upset and then he curses Parikshit, right? So that's kind of where I think we stopped. So when the son comes back, right, and then he meets his father, the Samika Rishi. So at that time, the Samika Rishi is, he sees that the son is crying. So he asks, why are you crying? He said, this King Parikshit came, looks like he tried to wake you up, and because you didn't respond, he ended up putting this dead snake. So Samika Rishi doesn't care. He takes the dead snake and then, he doesn't take it seriously and he just discards it. And however, when he hears from his son, Shringi, that he has cursed Parikshit, right? So that's when Samika Rishi gets very upset. He says, you know what? You don't realize that the person who you have cursed is one of the greatest of the human beings, and the son was expecting that, his father would congratulate him or thank him and say, you actually done a good job, of doing this, but it's the exact opposite. The Rishi is absolutely not happy with what actually happened. And he says the offense that the king or whatever the king did is very insignificant, right, compared to who he is. And he says, the son, that you are so young that you're very immature, right? While you may have the powers, your maturity is very poor, your intelligence is very poor, and you don't realize that a king like that, when there's a good king who's ruling, the Lord himself is represented in that form because that person is maintaining the sanctity of everything else. If that person is removed, then what happens is, like we've seen in a lot of examples, there'll be a lot of everybody will start plundering. There will be a lot of thieves and everything, and the subjects are going to get very, they're all going to get upset because people will start troubling them. A lot of things are going to get stolen. This will result in social disruptions which are going to happen. Not only that, not only there's going to be disruptions and loss of life and everything, but also more importantly, it will start becoming a downward spiral where all the religious things are going to get abandoned. And once all that happens, then people are going to, start focusing more on material things. It's all going to go in the wrong direction, right? So he said it is a big mistake that you did by actually cursing this king. And he's one of the greatest of kings who has done a lot of Ashwamedha yajnas and all of that stuff. And then what the Rishi concludes is, he prays to the Supreme Lord saying, please forgive my son. So because the greatest of bhaktas are, they never get angry at somebody because they did something to them. So the Rishi is not at all worried about what Parikshit did to him. And he's actually praying that may his son not repeat such things again, right? And then, to forgive him and then to protect Parikshit. That's how this chapter comes to an end. Okay, so we'll say maybe Jayashree Shankar can be a student. And Sriram, maybe you can be a student, Sriram. Idhula repeat. Okay?
Sure, Rajesh.
Okay, so 41. Nishamya Shaptam Athadarham Narendram, comma, Sa Brahmano Natmajam Abhyanandat. You can break it that ma if you want. Natmajam Abhyanandat. Aho Batamho Mahadagnya Te Kritam. So that ma will break it, put a im, comma. Next word will start with a alpiyasi droha urur damo dhritaha. Nishamya Shaptam Atadarham Narendram Sabrahmano Natmajam Abhyanandate Aho Badamho Mahadagnate Kritam Alpihya Sidroha Ururdamo Dhritaha.
निशम्य शप्तम् अतदर्हं नरेन्द्रं सब्राह्मणो नात्मजम् अभ्यनन्दत अहो बतां हो महदद्यते कृतम् अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुर्दमो धृतः निशम्य शप्तम् अतदर्हं नरेन्द्रं सब्राह्मणो नात्मजम् अभ्यनन्दत अहो बतां हो महदद्यते कृतम् अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुर्दमो धृतः.
निशम्य शब्दम् अददर्हं नरेन्द्रं सब्राह्मणो नात्मजम् अभयनन्दत अहो पदां हो मगदङ्ग्यदे कृतम् अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुर्दमोऽधृतः. निशम्य शब्दम् अददर्हं नरेन्द्रं सब्राह्मणो नात्मजम् अभयनन्दत.
The ba is a half ba, so Abhyanandat.
Okay. सब्राह्मणो नात्मजम् अभ्यनन्दत अहो पदां हो नगदञ्चते कृतम् अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुर्दमोऽधृतः.
Na vai nribhir naradevam parakyam, comma, sammatum, you can break it that sammatum arhasya vipakva buddhe, the pakva, ka and va there, pakva buddhe, yat tejasa durvishahena gupta, comma, bindanti bhadranya kuto, one word, bhadranya kuto bhayah prajaha. Navainribirnaradevam parakyam sammatumarhasya vipakva buddhe yat tejasa durvishahena gupta bindanti bhadranya kuto bhayah prajaha.
नवैनभिर्नरदेवं पराक्यं सम्मातुम् अर्हस्य विपक्वबुद्धे यत्तेजसा दुर्विषहेण गुप्ता विदन्ति भद्राण्यकुतो भयाः प्रजाः.
Second line after the comma, bindanti.
Vindanti. Na vera mari channel. Okay.
Bidanti.
Okay. Okay. Navaindrabhirnaradevam parakyam sammatum-arhasya vipagva-buddhe yattejasa durvishahena gupta vindanti bhadrana kuto bhayah prajaha.
नवैर्नरदेवं पराज्ञं सम्मातुम् अर्हस्य विभक्वबुद्धे यत्तेजसा दुर्विषहेण गुप्ता विन्दन्ति भद्राण्यकुतो भयाः प्रजाः. नवैर्नरदेवं पराज्ञं सम्मातुम् अर्हस्य विभक्वबुद्धे यत्तेजसा दुर्विषहेण गुप्ता विन्दन्ति भद्राण्यकुतो भयाः प्रजाः.
Alakshyamane naradeva namni, comma, ratanga panavayamanga, one word, lokaha, tadahi chaura prachuro binangshyati. So the it and the thya that we have there, we're going to break it. You put a ti, binangshyati, comma, iksh, half iksh, binangshyati, comma. Next word will start with a. Arakshyamano vivaruta vakshanat. Alakshyamane naradeva namni ratangapana vayamangalokaha tadahi chaura prachuro vinangshyati अरक्ष्यमाणो विवरूतवत्क्षणात्
अलक्ष्यमाणे नरदेवनाम्नि रताङ्गपानावयमङ्गलोकः तदा हि चौरप्रचुरो विनङ्क्ष्यति रक्ष्यमाणो विवरुद्धवत्क्षणात् अलक्ष्यमाणे नरदेवनाम्नि रताङ्गपानावयमङ्गलोकः तदा हि चौरप्रचुरो विनङ्क्ष्यति रक्ष्यमाणो विवरुद्धवत्क्षणात्
अलक्ष्यमाणे नरदेवनाम्नि रदाङ्गबाणा वयमङ्कलोकः तदा हि सौरप्रशूर विनङ्क्षति अरक्ष्यमाणो रुदवत्क्षणात् अलक्ष्यमाणे नरदेवनाम्नि रदाङ्गबाणा वयमङ्कलोकः तथा हि सौरप्रसुरो विनङ्क्षति अरक्ष्यमाणो रुदवत्क्षणात्
Tadadhya. So that word is a little bit of a, what do you call, tongue twister, that particular word. Tadadhya. Okay, so that sound has to come together. Tadadhya. Naf. Papam upaitya nanvayam, comma. Yennashta natasya basur vilampukat parasparam gnanti, half ga, gnanti shapanti vrinjate, comma. Pashun striyortan puru dasyavo janaha. तदद्यनः पापमुपैत्यनन्वयम् यन्नष्टनाथस्य वसोर्विलम्पुकात् परस्परं घ्नन्ति शपन्ति वृञ्जते पशून् स्त्रियोर्थान् पुरुदस्य भोजनाः
तदध्यनः पापम् उपैत्यनन्वयम् यन्नष्टनाथस्य वसोर्विलुम्पकात् परस्परं घ्नन्ति क्षपन्ति वृञ्जते पशून् स्त्रियोर्थान् पुरुर्दस्य वो जनाः तदध्यनः पापम् उपैत्यनन्वयम् यन्नष्टनाथस्य वसोर्विलुम्पकात् परस्परं घ्नन्ति क्षपन्ति वृञ्जते पशून् स्त्रियोर्थान् पुरुर्दस्य वो जनाः.
Jayashree, and the first line after comma, the first word, it's yen nashta. So there's a in and a na, two nas, right? So yen nashta natasya.
Where am I reaching,
You're like
Rajesh?
yenashta. I'm not
Oh, yannashta. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
yennashta. And then on the second line after striyortan, then puru dasyavo. That's a separate word, but somehow I felt like you were trying to connect those words or something. Is it?
Yes, I was trying to connect. Puru dasyavo. Dasyavo.
Striyortan is one word, and then puru dasyavo janaha.
Puru dasyavo janada. Okay.
Janaha, yeah.
Thank you.
तदत्यनः पापम् उभैत्यनन्वयम् यन्नष्टनादस्य वसोर्विलम्बकात् परस्परं घ्नन्ति शपन्ति वृञ्जते पशून् स्त्रियोर्तान् पुरुदस्य वो जनाः तदत्यनः पापम् उभैत्यनन्वयम् यन्नष्टनादस्य वसोर्विलम्बकात्
विलुम्पकात्.
Oh, sorry. नष्टनादस्य वसोर्विलुम्पकात् परस्परं घ्नन्ति शपन्ति वृञ्जते पशून् स्त्रियोर्तान् पुरुदस्य वो जनाः
तदार्य धर्मश्च विलीयते नृणां, कॉमा, वर्णाश्रमाचार युतस्त्रयीमयः तथोर्थ कामाभिनिवेशितात्मन. Cannot break that word. So कामाभिनिवेशितात्मनां, one word, comma, शुनां कपीनामिव वर्ण संकरः. तदाह्य धर्मश्च विलीयते नृणां वर्णाश्रमाचारयुतस्त्रयीमयः ततोर्थ कामाभिनिवेशितात्मनां शुनां कपीनामिव वर्ण संकरः.
तदार्य धर्मश्च विलीयते नृणां वर्णाश्रमाचारयुतस्त्रयीमयः तथोऽर्थकामाभिनिवेशितात्मनां शूनां कपीनाम् इव वर्णसङ्करः तदार्यधर्मश्च विलीयते नृणां वर्णाश्रमाचारयुतस्त्रयीमयः तथोऽर्थकामाभिनिवेशितात्मनां शूनां कपीनाम् इव वर्णसङ्करः
तदार्यधर्मस्य विलीयते नृणां वर्णाश्रमासरायुधस्त्रीमयः तदोऽर्थकामापि निवेशितात्मनां सुनां कपीनामिव वर्णसङ्करः.
The first line, varnashrama, remember the word achara. Okay, so varnashramachara.
Okay, varnashrama acharya. Okay, tadarya viliyate nranam varnasramacharya acharyudastrimayah tadortha kamapi nivesidatmanam sunam kapinamiva varnasankarah.
Dharmapalo narapatihi, satu samrat brihatshavaha sakshan mahabhagavato, rajarshir haya medhayat shut trit shramayuto dino, naivasmat chapamarhati. Dharmapalo narapatihi satu samrat brihatshavaha sakshan mahabhagavato rajarshir hayamedhayat kshutrit shramayuto dino naivasmachapamarhati.
Dharmapalo narapatihi satu samrat brihatshavaha sakshan mahabhagavato rajarshirhayamedhayat shrutrit shramayuto dino naivasmachapamarhati. Dharmapalo narapatihi satu samrat brihatshavaha sakshan mahabhagavato rajarshirhayamedhayat shitrit shamayuto dino naivasmachapamarhati.
Dharmapalo narapadihi sadussamrat prahacharavaha sakshan mahabhagavado rajarshirhayamedayat kshutritsramayuto dino naivasmachapamarhati. Dharmapalo narapadihi sadussamrat prahacharavaha sakshan mahabhagavado rajarshir hayamedayat kshutritsramayuto dino naivasmachapamarhati.
Yes, this is Parikshit, Mahabhagavata. He's a great, saint kind of a person. Of course, when he's, when he's shrama, when he's very tired because of, being fatigued and everything, he must have done, but it doesn't warrant the sharpam. That's why it's coming chapam, because it's sharpam, sha word, but because itch is coming, it's becoming a cha. Otherwise, it's sharpam arhati. He doesn't deserve the curse that was given. Apapeshu swabhrityeshu, balena pakva buddhina papam kritam tad bhagavan, sarvatma kshantum arhati. Apapeshu swabhrityeshu balena pakva buddhina papam kritam tad bhagavan sarvatma kshantum arhati.
Apapeshu swabhrityeshu balena pakva buddhina papam kritam tad bhagavan sarvatma kshantum arhati. Apapeshu swabhrityeshu balena pakva buddhina papam kritam tad bhagavan sarvatma kshantum arhati.
Abhabeshu sapratyeshu balena bhakva buddhina papam kritam tat bhagavan sarvatma kshantumarhati. Abhabeshu sapratyeshu balena bhakva buddhina papam kritam tat bhagavan sarvatma kshantumarhati.
Tiraskrita vipralabdhaha, Shaptaha. So that visarga you have to say that Shaptaha Kshipta Hata Api Nasya Tat Pratikurvanti, Tad Bhaktah Prabhavopihi. तिरस्कृता विप्रलब्धाः शप्ताः क्षिप्ताः हता अपि नास्य तत् प्रतिकुर्वन्ति तद्भक्ताः प्रभवोऽपि हि
तिरस्कृता विप्रलब्धाः शप्ताः क्षिप्ता हता अपि नास्य तत्प्रतिकुर्वन्ति तद्भक्ताः प्रभवोऽपि हि तिरस्कृता विप्रलब्धाः शप्ताः क्षिप्ता हता अपि नास्य तत्प्रतिकुर्वन्ति तद्भक्ताः प्रभवोऽपि हि
तिरस्कृता विप्रलप्ताः सुप्ताः क्षिप्ताः अदाहबि नास्य तत् प्रतिकुर्वन्ति तद्भक्ताः प्रभोवभिः.
First time Sriram, after the comma Shaptaha. You said Shupta. Shaptaha.
Okay. तिरस्कृता विप्रलप्ताः शप्ताः क्षिप्ताः दाहबि नास्य तत् प्रतिकुर्वन्ति तद्भक्ताः प्रभोवभिः.
इति पुत्र कृताघेन, सोनु तप्तो महामुनिः स्वयं विप्रकृतो राज्ञा, नैवाघं तदचिन्तयत्. तद अचिन्तयत् तदचिन्तयत्, one word. इति पुत्रकृताघेन सोनुतप्तो महामुनिः स्वयं विप्रकृतो राज्ञा नैवाघं तदचिन्तयत्.
इति पुत्रकृताघेन सोनुतप्तो महामुनिः स्वयं विप्रकृतो राज्ञा नैवागं तदचिन्तयत्. इति पुत्रकृताघेन सोनुतप्तो महामुनिः स्वयं विप्रकृतो राज्ञा नैवागं तदचिन्तयत्.
इति पुत्राकृताकेन सोनुतप्तो महामुनिः स्वयं विप्रकृतो राज्ञा नैवाकं तदचिन्तयत्. इति पुत्रकृताकेन सोनुतप्तो महामुनिः स्वयं विप्रकृतो राज्ञा नैवाकं तदचिन्तयत्.
प्रायशः साधवो लोके, परैर्द्वन्द्वेषु योजिताः न व्यतन्ति न हृष्यन्ति, यत आत्मा गुणाश्रयः. प्रायशः साधवो लोके परैर्द्वन्द्वेषु योजिताः न व्यतन्ति न हृष्यन्ति, यत आत्मा गुणाश्रयः.
प्रायशः साधवो लोके परैर्द्वन्द्वेषु योजिताः न व्यथन्ति न हृष्यन्ति यत आत्मा गुणाश्रयः. प्रायशः साधवो लोके परैर्द्वन्द्वेषु योजिताः न व्यथन्ति. How do you say that?
न व्यथन्ति
न व्यथन्ति न हृष्यन्ति यत आत्मा गुणाश्रयः. Thank you.
ராஜேஷ் அது வந்து
prayashah is there. The visarga becomes is. So prayashas sadhavu.
Okay. Prayasas sadhavo loke paraitvanta veshu yojitaha na vyadanti na krishyanti yada atma gunasrayaha. प्रायसः साधवो लोके परैर्त्वन्तवेषु योजिताः न व्यदन्ति न हृष्यन्ति यद आत्मा गुणाश्रयः.
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां प्रथमस्कन्धे विप्रशापोपलम्भनं नाम 18ोऽध्यायः. Go ahead, Jesh, you want to say it once?
Sorry. इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां प्रथमस्कन्धे विप्रशापोपलम्भनं नाम 18ोऽध्यायः.
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां प्रथमस्कन्धे
Shapo.
विप्रसोब
Yeah, see, it's Vipra Shapa Upalambanam. Okay.
okay.
So Vipra Shapopalambanam.
Okay. इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां प्रथमस्कन्धे विप्रसाबोलम्बनम् आमष्टादशोऽध्यायः.
You can break that word if you want. Nama Ashtadashodhyayah.
नाम अष्टादशोऽध्यायः.
Right, we'll come to the last for 19. We'll probably do for 10 more minutes and then we'll switch. Another time I'll tell the story for 19. So we can do one time for the next 10 minutes. Sutau Vacha Mahi Patis Twata Tatkarma Garhyam, comma, Vichintayan Natma Kritam Sudurmanaha Aho Maya Nicham Anarya Vatkritam, comma, Niragasi Brahmani Gudha Tejasi, short e at the end. Suthahuvacha Mahipatistvata Tatkarma Garhyam Vichintayanatmakritam Sudurmanaha Aho Maya Nichamanaryavat Niragase Brahmani Gudha Tejasi.
Suto vacha mahipatiस्त्वततत्कर्म गर्ह्यं विचिन्तयन्नात्मकृतं सुदुर्मनाः अहो मया नीचम् अनार्यवत्कृतं निरागसि ब्रह्मणि गूढतेजसि.
श्रुतोवाच महीपतिस्त्वत तत्कर्मकर्ह्यं विचिन्तयन्नात्मकृतं सुदुर्मनाः अहो मया नीसमनार्यवत्कृतं निरागसि ब्रह्मणि गूढतेजसि.
And the Vichintayan after the first line and the comma and the other cha sound. Similarly, the Nicham in the second line is also cha sound. I'm hearing a sa. It's a cha. Vichintayan Nicham. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Dhruvam tato me krita deva helanad, comma, dhuratyayam vyasanam nati dhirgat tadastu kamam tvaga nishkritaya me, comma, yatha na kuryam punarevam adha. Double the. Dhruvam tato me krita deva helanad duratyayam vyasanam nati dhirgat tadastu kamam tvaga nishkritaya me yata na kuryam punarevam adha.
ध्रुवं ततो मे कृतदेवहेलनाद् दुरत्ययं व्यसनं नातिदीर्घात् तदस्तु कामं त्वनिष्कृताय मे यथा न कुर्यां पुनरेवमद्धा.
Jason, the second line, third, tvagha nishkritaya me.
So twaga cholapra. Twaga, correct?
Twaga, yeah, I think you didn't say the gha. I didn't hear the gha. So twaga.
Yeah, twaga nishkritaya me. Thank you.
ध्रुवं ततो मे कृततेव हेलनात् दुरत्ययं व्यसनं नादिदीर्घात् तदस्तु कामं त्वगनिष्कृताय मे यथा न कुर्यां पुनरेवम् अत्ता.
Oh, sorry. Adhyaiva Rajyam Bhalam Riddha Kosham. If you want to break that, Bhalam Riddha Kosham, comma, Prakopita Brahma Kulanalome Dahatva Bhadrasya Punar na Mebhut, comma, Papiyasi Dhir Dvija Deva Gopyaha. Adhyaiva Rajyam Balam Riddha Kosham प्रकोपित ब्रह्मकुलानलो मे दाहत्व भद्रस्य पुनर्नमे भूते पापीह्यसि धीर्द्विजदेव गोप्यः.
अधैव राज्यं अधैव राज्यं बलमृद्धकोशं प्रकोपित ब्रह्मकुलानलो मे दहत्व भद्रस्य पुनर्न मे भूत् पापीयसि द्विजदेव गोप्यः.
अद्यैव राज्यं बलं वृत्तकोशं प्रकोपितब्रह्मकुलानलो मे दहत्वभद्रस्य पुनर्न मे भूत् पापीयसीतीर्द्विजतेव गोप्यः
Chintayan, the double na there, Chintayan Nittam Athashrunod. You can break at that ma. Nittam Athashrunod Yatha, comma, Munes Sutokto Nirritis Takshakakyah Sa Sadhu Mene Nachirena Takshakanalam. So that we're going to say those two lines together. So there's no comma there, but it is Takshaka Analam. You can't break it there. So Takshakanalam Prasaktasya Virakti Karanam. So it may be a little difficult to say it together, but we are going to keep that line together, continuous. Sachintayan Nittamata Shunhot Yatha Mune Sutokto Nirratestakshakakyah Sasadu Mene Nachirena Takshakanalam Prasaktasya Virakti Karanam.
सचिन्तयन्निथमता शृणोद्यथा मुने सुतोक्तो निर्ऋतिस्तक्षकाख्यः ससाधु मेनेन चिरेण तक्षकानलं प्रसक्तस्य विरक्तिकारणम्
सचिन्त्य नित्यमदा शृणोत्यदा मुनेः सदोकृता निर्हृदिस्तक्षकाख्यः ससाधु मेन नसिरेण तक्षकानलं प्रसक्तस्य विरक्तिकारणम्.
And the first line after that comma, Muno Sutokto. Mune Sutokto.
Okay. So, Mune Sutokruto.
No, Sutkra, there's no ear sound there.
Oh.
Sutokto.
So, Mune Sutokto. Right, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, there's no ear sound there. Ato Bihayemam Amum, we can break it that second ma. Bihayemam Amum cha lokam, comma, Vimarshitau Heyataya Purastat, Krishnangri Sevam Adhimanyamanaha. You can break it that ma if you want. Adhimanyamanaha. Put a visargan comma there. Upavishat Prayam Amartya Nadhyam. Ato Vihayemam Amum cha lokam Vimarshitau Heyataya Purastat Krishnagri Sevam Adhimanyamanaha Upavishat Prayam Amartya Nadhyam.
अतो विहाये मममुं च लोकं विमर्शितौ हेयतया पुरस्तात् कृष्णाङ्घ्रिसेवाम् अधिमन्यमानः उपाविशत्प्रायम् अमर्त्य नद्याम्
अधो विहाय मेम् अमुं च लोकं विमर्शितौ हेयदया पुरस्तात् कृष्णाङ्घ्रिसेवामदिम् अन्यमानः उभाविशत् प्रायममर्त्य नद्याम्.
And the first line, second word, Bihayemam Amum.
Adho Bihayemam Amum cha lokam.
The three ma letter coming there, right? Bihayemam Amum.
Okay, they have given only two mas here, so I broke one ma into M plus A.
The second ma you do that. So Bihayemam.
Okay.
Yemam Amum.
Oh, okay. Bihayemam. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pause here and we'll switch, and then let me say the meaning. This one has got like a lot of content in it, 40 stanzas. I'll probably say first 10 or 20, and then we'll continue with the learning today. So here in this chapter, so the last chapter we saw what happened. So when that was happening there, where the sage was feeling bad about what Shringi had done, his son has done, we'll now come to Parikshit. So Parikshit, when he was coming back and he reaches the kingdom, he realizes that what a big mistake he did, right? He felt that it's a powerful sage, faultless sage, and what Parikshit did was very uncivilized. He gets it. So he was very upset, right? And then he felt that, the first step of anything is to repent, right? To realize that you have made a mistake, which Parikshit repents now, saying that I absolutely did a mistake. The second thing that Parikshit thinks about is, for the mistake which I have done as a king and also as a person who's such a devotee of the Lord Krishna, I cannot be going and making such mistakes, right? So he was pretty sure that he expects something to happen to him, right? Because the way he's thinking about it is, I have made a mistake, I have to now pay for the mistake. At least what he doesn't want is, he doesn't want this to come much later in his life, because he's worried that he's not going to learn the lesson. So he's wishing that, whatever is going to happen, let it happen quick to me, so that I learn from this mistake and I don't repeat it future in my life, right? That's how he's thinking. And he's also thinking that, let it be a good enough punishment for me, so I won't do it. Plus, let nothing happen to my family and things, right? So he's kind of wishing that whatever is happening, let it happen to him and not anything else. As he was thinking about this and waiting, he was kind of thinking, what is going to happen to me? At that time, he receives the news. So because the sage kind of the Shamika Muni realizes that what his son has did a mistake, but once the curse is done, there's nothing that even Shamika Muni could do to kind of get back the curse or to take it back. So at least he said, the best thing I can do is let Parikshit know that what is going to be happening. So he then sends a message to Parikshit, that through a messenger, right, to kind of say that my son has cursed you, and as a result of the 7th day from today, you're going to be bit by a takshaka bird, right? So that's what the Parikshit actually gets the message. So now when you think of the regular the varnashrama system, it says when you reach the age of 60 or whatever appropriate age is, right, you then have to start preparing to go back to the Supreme Lord. And the first step of preparing to go back to the Supreme Lord is to abandon everything you have as a householder, and then you go to the forest because you are not attached to anything, and then you go get enough of a knowledge to eventually get to sannyasam. That's a stage process. In Parikshit's case, a little bit he was fortunate is that he got a 7-day notice, right? And so for us, most of us, we don't have a notice, right? So when Parikshit heard this, he said, this is actually perfect. He said, it's good. He said, why? Because otherwise, you'll always have attachment to worldly things. But if you know for a fact that I have only 7 days left, that is like a strong impetus to say, don't get attached to any more worldly things. Because the risk you have with varnashrama is when you go to vanaprastha, which is you go to the forest, abandoning everything, you then suddenly might get a feeling, I wonder what my family is doing. I wonder what is happening to everything. There's a small risk that you'll come back to this life, right? But now he says, it is good because I'm not going to have any such event that's going to happen, because I only know I have 7 days left. I don't have a risk of kind of doing this, right? So anyway, Parikshit is in this case taking it in a very positive way. So once he receives the news, he then immediately gives up his kingdom, and he immediately gives up his family, right? And his son Jayan, and it will come later, but he makes his son Jayan the king, right? Or appoints him as the king. And then he says, okay, I'm going to now renounce everything and I'm going to go to the bank of Ganges. So with that, he goes in to, like we saw in the stanza 5, Krishnangri Seva. So he goes to the Ganges River to completely focus his mind on the feats of Lord Krishna. And he says, I am not going to go through any of the other practices of self-realization, right? So, all the Ashtanga Yoga, all these other methods, because I don't have time. I only have 7 days left. And the only thing I can do is just focus on Krishna. So what he does is he goes to Ganges, because that's again, everybody goes to Ganges at the last minute because that's the most sacred of rivers. So he also decides, I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to then sit there and fast myself unto death. That was his plan, right? I'm not going to eat anything, I'm not going to drink anything, and then I'm going to just wait for my life to go. But the next 7 days, I'm just going to be thinking about Krishna. With that, he goes to the Ganges. When Parikshit goes to the Ganges, the news, of course, spreads, right? Because he's a big king. He has a large kingdom all over. We saw how he was going and occupying a lot of things. So when all of that happened, a lot of the great-minded sages everywhere, they said, you know what? We also have to go there. And the reason they want to go there is for a couple of reasons. One of them is they know this is a person who has been blessed by Lord Krishna even before he was born, right? So Krishna, he has so much Krishna Kataksham in him. So if he is going to be focusing on Krishna for the next 7 days, what more better place for us to be there than in that place? Because in that place, nothing else is going to happen other than Parikshit thinking about Krishna. She said, it's good for us. Next 7 days, we also won't do anything useless. We will also go sit with Parikshit and just think about Krishna. That's number one. 2, he's sitting on the banks of Ganges. So it's a punya sthalam. So they said, okay, even we'll kind of take it's like a tirth yatra, we can go to Ganges. But the most important one, when you look at the people who are going to come, which is coming from stanza 9, is they know what is going to happen. So they know Shukha Brahman is going to come there, Bhagavatam is going to be recited, so they don't want to miss that opportunity. So even though Parikshit didn't know about it, a lot of these sages knew about it, so they all start coming there. So in 9 and 10, it will talk about Atrir, Vasishta, Chavana, Sharadvan, Arishtanemi, Bhrugu, Angirash, Parashara, who's Vyasa's father. It gives a list of all the names of sages who are actually coming there, including Dvaipayana, including Vyasa and Bhagavan Naradascha. Even Narada also comes there. So all these people desire to come there where Parikshit is sitting. And in addition to them, it says Devarshi, Brahmarshi, Rajarshi, all the great rishis and demigods, everybody decides to assemble there because they know that's going to be the happening spot for the next 7 days, right? So when they all come, Parikshit, of course, he welcomes them and all that. And while he has already made his decision, he still feels that we have some great personalities who have actually come here. So he wants to get their feedback on their opinion on what he's going to do. So he's saying, you know what, I made a big mistake. I made a blunder by doing this. So what I have decided is I have decided to completely fast until death and just focus on Krishna. Is there anything I should be doing? So he kind of asks them, he says, are you all okay with it? Right? He says, I've completely surrendered myself here, right? To the lotus feet of the Lord, and that's the only thing I'm going to be doing. And he says, whatever Takshaka or whatever wants to come, let it come, let it bite me whenever, and I don't care about it, right? Because he's decided I don't worry about any of that stuff. So that's where we'll stop. I think 12 or 13 or 14 something it comes. We'll stop there for now. Okay, so second half, let me see. Shobha Ninga, can you be a student today? I don't know if you are.
Sure. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Anji, you can be a student. Okay, so stanza 6. We'll do two times. Okay. Ya vai lasach Shri Tulasi Bimishra, put a plus, Krishnangri Rainba Bhyadikambunetri. You can't break that word. So Rainba Bhyadikambunetri will come as one full word. Punati Lokan Ubhayatra Seshan, comma, Kastam na seveta Marishyamanaha. Ya Vailachachni Tulasi Vimishra Krishna Griren Babhyadikam Bhunetri Punati Lokan Ubhayatra Seshan Kastam na seveta Marishyamanaha.
Anandji, you want to go first?
Yeah, Anand,
Yeah, you can start. Go ahead.
Oh, good, Anand, you go ahead, I think.
Okay. Ya Vailasastri Tulasi Vimisra Krishnang Krirena Bhidikambunitri Unadi Loganubhayatra Seshan Kastamna Seveda Marishyamanaha. Ya Vailasastri Tulasi Vimisra Krishnang Krirena Bhidikambunitri Unadi Loganubhayatra Seshan Kastamna Seveda Marishyamanaha.
Ya Vailahachari Tulasi Visham Srikrishna Revnaptikam Pudenetri Unadi Loganu Bhayatrale Seshan Kastamna Seveda Marishyamanaha. Ya Vaivasasri Tulasi Visham Vimishra Krishna Nevya Krishna Nevyadyadikam Punetri Unadi Loganubhayatra Seshan Kastamna Seveta Marishyamanaha.
So when this first line after that second half of it is in sound, Rainva Bhyadikambu. Krishnangri.
Krishnangri Nevyadyadikam Punetri.
Krishnangri Rainva Bhyadikambu.
Krishnangri Rainva Yudikam Punetri.
Yeah, in and vas that one, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Iti Vyavachidya sa Pandaveyah, comma, Prayopavesham Prati Vishnupadhyam Dadyau Mukundagrim Ananya. You can break it that much if you want. Mukundagrim Ananya Bhavo, comma, Munibrato Mukta Samasta Sangaha. Itivyavachedhya sa Pandaveyah Prayopavesham Prati Vishnupadhyam दद्यो मुकुन्दाग्रिमनन्यभावो मुनिव्रतो मुक्तसमस्तसङ्गः
इति व्यवच्छिद्य सपाण्डवेयः प्रायो भवेशं प्रति विष्णुपद्भ्यां दद्यो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिमनन्यभावो मुनिव्रतो मुक्तसमस्तसङ्गः इति व्यवच्छिद्य सपाण्डवेयः प्रायोपवेशं प्रति विष्णुपद्भ्यां दद्यो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिमनन्यभावो मुनिव्रतो मुक्तसमस्तसङ्गः
इति व्यवच्छिद्य स पाण्डवेयः प्रायोपवेशं प्रति विष्णुपत्यां दद्यो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिमनन्यभावो मुनिव्रतो मुक्तसमस्तसङ्गः इति व्यवच्छिद्य स पाण्डवेयः प्रायोपवेशं प्रति विष्णुपत्यां दद्यो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिमनन्यभावो मुनिव्रतो मुक्तसमस्तसङ्गः.
Rajesh, one doubt actually. The second line, Mugundhankri or Mugunda, is there or what? Mugundhamkri. Mugundam.
Yeah, it's Mukunda Angrim Ananya, 3 words. So Mukundangrim Ananya Bhavo.
Okay, thank you.
Tatropa Jagmur Bhuvanam Punana, put a plus, Mahanubhava Munayas Sasishyaha Prayena Tirthabi Gamapadeshaihi, 1 word, Tirthabi Gamapadeshaihi, comma, Swayam hi Tirthani Punanti Santaha. Tatropajagmurbhuvanam punana mahanubhava munayassa sishyaha prayena tirthabi gamapadeshaihi swayam hi tirthani punanti santaha.
Pause illa Rajesh. Pause kadiyada. Tatropa
first line is together. First line is together. No pause in the first line.
तत्रोपजग्मुर्भुवनं पुनाना महानुभावा मुनयस्य शिष्याः प्रायेण तीर्थाभिगमापदेशैः स्वयं हि तीर्थानि पुनन्ति सन्तः तत्रोपजग्मुर्भुवनं पुनाना महानुभावा मुनयस्य शिष्याः प्रायेण तीर्थाभिगमापदेशैः स्वयं हि तीर्थानि पुनन्ति सन्तः
तत्रोपजग्मुर्भुवनं पुनाना महानुभावा मुनय सशिष्यः प्रायेण तीर्थाभिगमापदेशैः स्वयं हि तीर्थानि पुनन्ति सन्तः.
The first line, last word, Shubha, Shishyaha.
Okay. तत्रोपजग्मुर्भुवनं पुनाना महानुभावा मुनय सशिष्याः प्रायेण तीर्थाभिगमापदेशैः स्वयं हि तीर्थानि पुनन्ति सन्तः.
Atrir Vasishtash Shavanash Sharadvan, that na will break it, Sharadvan, comma. Next word will start with the A. Arishtanemir Bhrigur Angirascha Parasharo Gadhi Sutota Ramaha. Put a visarga there. Ramaha referring to Parashurama here. Ramaha, comma. Utatya Indra Pramadetma Vahav. That's 1 word, you can't break it. Atrirvasishtas Chavanash Sharadvan Arishtanemir Bhigurangirascha Parasharo Gadhi Sutota Ramaha Utatya Indra Pramadetma Vahav.
अत्रिर्वसिष्ठश्चवनश्चरद्वान् अरिष्टनेमिर्भृगुरङ्गिराश्च पराशरोगादिसुधोदरामः उदद्य इन्द्रप्रमदेत्मवाहो अत्रिर्वसिष्ठश्चवनश्चरद्वान् अरिष्टनेमिर्भृगुरङ्गिराश्च पराशरोगादिसुधोदरामः उदद्य इन्द्रप्रमदेत्मवाहो
अत्रिर्वसिष्ठस्य वनश्चरत्वान् अरिष्टनेमिर्भृगुरङ्गिराश्च पराशुरोगादिसुधोदरामः उदत्ते इन्द्रप्रमदेत्मवाहौ. अत्रिर्वसिष्ठस् अत्रिर्वसिष्ठस्य वसनः शरत्वान् अरिष्टनेमिर्भृगुराङ्गिराश्च पराशुरोगादिसुतोदरा रामः उदित्य इन्द्रप्रमदेत्मवा हौ अवाहौ.
I mean, just the fact that
Rajesh, how do you say the first word, the last part?
I was going to say it's Chya-vana. So Chya. So CHYA. Chya-vanash. Okay, Shobhan, I was going to correct that thing in the Vasishtash. Chya-vanash.
Sure. Atrirvasishtasya vanasharatvan arishtane.
Sorry, under that name, right? It says Chya-vana is the name. CHYA.
Chavana.
Chya-vana. BANA. Chya-vana.
Chavana. CHYAYANA.
BANA. Chya-vanash. The Visarga becomes the ish. So Chya-vanash, it becomes, that's it. Okay.
In the last line, Rajesh, Ramaha kainchitu Uttaya or
Utatya.
Utatya.
Utatya. Okay.
Rajesh, how come Parashurama come here?
Because he is one of the Chiranjeevis, right? So he's...
Oh, he's a Chiranjeevi.
He's a Chiranjeevi, so he's alive. So what I'm going to say here is, all these great people are coming, because they know what is going to be happening, right? So that itself is such an important thing. And imagine then Shuka Brahman's greatness, because all these people are coming to hear him speak, right? Because he's talking about things, right? About important things. But again, all these people decide to descend and come and be there for the next 7 days to listen to what's going to happen. One more coming the next stanza. Medhatithir Devala Arstisheno, Bharadvajo Gautama Pippaladaha Maitreya Aurva Kavashah Kumbhayonihi. So that the put a visarga there, the Kumbhayonihi is there. And then next line, the ir that goes away. Dvaipayano Bhagavan Naradascha. So again,
here the Kumbhayonihi, who is
I have to check who it is, because the Kumbhayoni generally means Durvasa is also born from the Kumbham, he's born from the pot, right? So I have to check who exactly is that Anandji. I'll get back on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I had one thing I found here, right? I'll ask you, see if anybody remembers, and I don't know if it's exactly that person. There's a person mentioned here as Devala. You remember where we've heard that name somewhere?
Bhishma?
Huh? No. We've heard that name. I'll give you a hint. We heard that name in Narayaniyam. It comes. I don't know if that's a Devala Rishi comes there. I don't know if it's the same Devala Rishi, but that's the first. I don't know if there's any other Devala Rishi. You remember? No one is remembering what it is. Who stavad Devalasyapi Shapat Rahi Bhuta Tajjale Vartamana in 26. Right, where that the person, the Gandharva goes and pulls a Rishi's feet under the water, because of which he becomes a crocodile. So that Rishi was also Devala. I don't know if it's the same Devala Rishi, but that's I just feel I couldn't find that connection, but I'm assuming it is. Medhatitir Devala Ashtisheno Bharadvajo Gautama Pippaladaha Maitreya Aurvah Kavashah Kumbhayonihi Dvaipahino Bhagavan Naradascha.
Medhadhidirdevala Ashtisheno Bharadvajo Gautama Pippaladaha Maitreya Aurvah Kavashah Kumbhayonihi Dvaipahino Bhagavan Naradascha. Medhadhirdevela Ashtisheno Bharadvajo Gautama Pippaladaha Maitreya Aurva Kavashah Kumbhayonihi Dvaipayano Bhagavan Naradascha.
Medhatidirdevala Arshtivesheno Bharadvajo Gautama Pippaladaha Maitreya Aurva Kavashah Kumbhayonihi Dvaipayano Bhagavan Naradascha. मेधातिथिर्देवल आष्टिशेनो भारद्वाजो गौतम पिप्पलातः मैत्रेय और्व कवश कुम्भयोनिः द्वैपायनो भगवान् नारदश्च
अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्मर्षि varyaha. Put a visarga there and comma because you're putting a comma, otherwise you don't need that. Rajarshi varya arunadayascha nanarsheya pravaran sametan. Put a in there and a comma sametan. Next word starts with a abhyarchya raja shirasa bhavande. अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्मर्षि वर्याः राजर्षि वर्या अरुणादयश्च नानाशेय प्रवरान् समेतान् अभ्यर्च्य राजा शिरसा ववन्दे.
अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्मर्षि वर्याः राजर्षि वर्या अरुणादयश्च नानर्षेय प्रवरान् समेतान् अभ्यर्च्य राजा शिरसा ववन्दे. अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्मर्षि वर्यः राजर्षि वर्या अरुणादयश्च नानर्षेय प्रवरान् समेतान् अभ्यर्च्य राजा शिरसा ववन्दे.
First line, that varyaha, that a sound, okay, varyaha.
अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्मर्षि वर्याः. Thank you, Rajesh.
अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्ममर्षि वर्याः राजर्षि वर्या अरुणादयश्च नानार्षेय प्रवरान् समेतान् अभ्यर्च्य राजा शिरसा ववन्दे. अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्मर्षि वर्याः राजर्षिवर्या अरुणादयश्च नानार्षेय प्रवरान् समेतान् अभ्यर्च्य राजा शिरसा ववन्दे.
The second time, Shubha, and after the visarga, after the first line comma, rajarshi varya.
Oh, sure. राजर्षि वर्य अरुणादयश्च नानाशेय प्रवरान् समेतान् अभ्यर्च्य राजा शिरसा ववन्दे. Okay.
Yeah. सुखोपविष्टेष्वत तेषु भूयः comma कृत प्रणामस् स्वचिकीर्षितं यत् विज्ञापयामास विविक्त चेताः. Put a visarga comma. If not pausing there, you don't need it. Vivikta chetaha. Upastito agre grihita panihi. If you look at it, upastito agre abhigrihita, but all of them has a S symbol. So you have to say the whole thing together. Upastito agre grihita panihi. Sukhopa vishneshvatateshu bhuyah krita pranama swachikiršitam yate vignapayamasa vivikta chetaha उपस्थितोऽग्रे विगृहीतपाणिः.
सुगोपविष्टेष्वदशेतेषु भूयः कृतः प्रणामः स्वचिकीर्षितं यद् विज्ञापयामास विविक्तचेताः उपस्थितोऽग्रे विगृहीतपाणिः. सुगोपविष्टेष्वदशेषु भूयः कृतः प्रणामः स्वचिकीर्षितं यद् विज्ञापयामास विविक्तचेताः उपस्थितोऽग्रे विगृहीतपाणिः.
सुगोपविष्टेष्वदतेषु भूयः कृतः प्रणाम स्वचिकीर्षितं यत् विज्ञापयामास विविक्तचेताः उपस्थितोऽग्रे विगृहीतपाणिः. सुगोपविष्टेष्वदतेषु भूयः कृतः प्रणाम स्वचिकीर्षितं यत् विज्ञापयामास विविक्तचेताः उपस्थितोऽग्रे विगृहीतपाणिः.
राजोवाच अहो वयं धन्यतमा नृपाणां कम महत्तमानुग्रहणीयशीलाः राज्ञां कुलं ब्राह्मणपादशौचाद् कम दूरात् विसृष्टं बत गर्ह्य कर्म. राजोवाच अहो वयं धन्यतमा नृपाणां महत्तमानुग्रहणीयशीलाः राज्ञां कुलं ब्राह्मणपादशौचाद् दूरात् विसृष्टं बत गर्ह्य कर्म.
राजोवाच अहो वयं धन्यतमा नृपाणां महत्तमानुग्रहणीयशीलाः राज्ञां कुलं ब्राह्मणपादशौचात् दूराद्विसृष्टं वदगर्ह्य कर्म राजोवाच अहो वयं धन्यतमा नृपाणां महत्तमानुग्रहणीयशीलाः राज्ञा कुलं ब्राह्मणपादशौचात् दूराद्विसृष्टं वदगर्ह्य कर्म.
Second time when you said that after the first line after the comma, I heard something different. Can you just say that portion after the comma in the first line?
महत्तमानुग्रहणीयशीलाः.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you,
अहो वयं धन्यतमा नृपाणां महत्तमानुग्रहणीयशीलाः राज्ञां कुलं ब्राह्मणपादशौचात् दूरात् विसृष्टं पदगृह्य कर्म
Garhya karma.
Sorry.
And the Rajovacha is there. Okay.
राजोवाच अहो वयं धन्यतमा नृपाणां महत्तमानुग्रहणीयशीलाः राज्ञां कुलब्राह्मणपादशौचात् दूरात् विसृष्टं पदगर्ह्य कर्म
तस्यैव मेघस्य परावरेशो व्यासक्त चित्तस्य गृहेष्व भीक्ष्णं निर्वेद मूलो द्विज शाप रूपो यत्र प्रसक्तो भयमाशु दत्ते. Let's do one time now. तस्यैव मेघस्य परावरेशो व्यासक्त चित्तस्य गृहेष्व भीक्ष्णं निर्वेद मूलो द्विज शाप रूपो यत्र प्रसक्तो भयमाशु दत्ते.
तस्यैव मेघस्य परावरेशो व्यासक्तचित्तस्य गृहेश भीष्णं निर्वेदमूलो द्विजशापरूपो यत्र प्रसक्तो भयमाशु दत्ते.
तस्यैव मेघस्य परावरेशो व्यासक्तचित्तस्य गृहेष्व भीक्ष्णं निर्वेदमूलो द्विजशापरूपो यत्र प्रसक्तो भयमाशु दत्ते.
तं मोपयातं प्रतियन्तु विप्रा गंगा च देवी धृतचित्तमीशे द्विजोपसृष्टः कुहकस्तक्षको वा दशत्वलं गायत विष्णुगाताः. तं मोपयातं प्रतियन्तु विप्रा गंगा च देवी धृतचित्तमीशे द्विजोपसृष्टः कुहकस्तक्षको वा दशत्वलं गायत विष्णुगाथाः.
तं मोपयातं प्रतियन्तु विप्रा गंगा च देवी धृतचित्तमीशे द्विजोपसृष्टा कुहकस्तक्षको वा दशत्वलं गायत विष्णुगाथाः.
तं मोपयादं प्रतियन्तु विप्रा गंगा च देवी धृतचित्तमीशे द्विजोपसृष्टः कुहकस्तक्षको वा दशत्वलं गायत विष्णुगाथाः.
15th the second and the द्विजो ஒரு வாட்டி ரிப்பீட் பண்ண முடியுமா கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோவா?
द्विजोपसृष्टः कुहकस्तक्षको वा.
कुहकस्तक्षको वा. Okay.
Kuhakah takshako, but the visarga, instead of the visarga they put the is. So kuhakastakshakova.
Thank you.
Punascha bhuyat bhagavatyanante, ratif prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam upayami srishtim, maitryastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. पुनश्च भूयाद् भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गश्च तदाश्रयेषु महत्सु यामुपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्र्यस्तु सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः.
पुनश्च भूयाद् भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गश्च तदाश्रयेषु महत्सु यामुपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्रस्तु सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः.
पुनश्च भूयात् भगवत्यनन्ते रदिप्रसङ्गश्च तदाश्रयेषु महत्सु यामुपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्र्यस्तु सर्वत्र नमोद्विजेभ्यः
इति स्म राज्याध्यवसाय, that word is one word, राज्याध्यवसाय युक्तः, प्राचीन मूलेषु कुशेषु धीरः उदङ्मुखो दक्षिणकूल आस्ते, समुद्र पत्न्यास् स्वसुत न्यस्त भारः। इति स्म राजाध्यवसाय युक्तः प्राचीन मूलेषु कुशेषु धीरः उदङ्मुखो दक्षिणकूल आस्ते समुद्रपत्न्या स्वसुतन्यस्त भारः।
इति स्म राज्यादिवसाय युक्तः प्राचीनमूलेषु कुशेषु धीरः उदङ्मुखो दक्षिणकूल आस्ते समुद्रपत्न्यः स्वसुतन्यस्तभारः।
इति स्म राजात्यवसाययुक्तः प्राचीनमूलेषु कुशेषु धीरः उदङ्गमुगोदक्षिणकूलास्ते समुद्रपत्न्या
स्वसुत न्यस्त भारः।
स्वसुतन्यस्तभारः।
Second line, first word, Shubha. Ing sound, okay.
Udang mugo dakshina.
Yeah, that's it. Evam cha tasmin naradev deve, प्रायोपविष्टे दिवि देव संघाः प्रशस्य भूमौ व्यकिरन् प्रसूनैः. Put a visarga and comma there, प्रसूनैः. Next word on top of the muda, ir goes away. Muda muhur दुन्धुभयश्च नेदुः. एवं च तस्मिन् नरदेव देवे प्रायोपविष्टे दिवि देव संघाः प्रशस्य भूमौ व्यकिरन् प्रसूनैः मुदा मुहुर्दुन्दुभयश्च नेदुः.
एवं च तस्मिन् नरदेव देवे प्रायोपविष्टे दिवि देव संघाः प्रशस्य भूमौ व्यकिरन् प्रसूनैः मुदा मुहुर्दुन्दुभयश्च नेदुः.
एवं च तस्मिन् नरदेव देवे प्रायोपविष्टे दिवि देव संघाः प्रशस्य भूमौ व्यकिरन् प्रसूनैः मुदा मुहुर्तु दुन्दुभयश्च नेतुः.
महर्षयो वै समुपागताये, प्रशस्य साद्वित्यनुमोदमानाः. One word, साद्वित्यनुमोदमानाः. ऊचुः प्रजानुग्रह शील साराः. So add a visarga there if you're pausing, यदुत्तम श्लोक गुणाभिरूपम्. महर्षयो वै समुपागताये प्रशस्य साद्वित्यनुमोदमानाः ऊचुः प्रजानुग्रहशीलसाराः यदुत्तम श्लोक गुणाभिरूपम्.
महर्षयो वै समुपागताये प्रशस्य सादित्यनुमोदमानाः ऊजुः प्रजानुग्रहशीलसारः साराः यदुत्तमश्लोकगुणाभिरूपम्.
महर्षयो वै समुपागताये प्रशस्य साद्वित्यनुमोदमानाः ऊजुः प्रजानुग्रहशीलसाराः यदुत्तमश्लोकगुणाभिरूपम्.
न वा इदं
Rajesh, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
It's on 18, the last line. It is mahur or muhur? Muda mahur or muda muhur?
मुदा मुहुर् दुन्दुभयश्च.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. न वा इदं राजर्षि वर्य चित्रं, भवत्सु कृष्णं समनुव्रतेषु ये ध्यासनं राजकिरीटजुष्टं, सद्यो जहुर् भगवत् पार्श्वकामाः. न वाहिदं राजर्षिवर्यचित्रं भवत्सु कृष्णं समनुव्रतेषु ये ध्यासनं राजकिरीटजुष्टं सद्यो जहुर्भगवत् पार्श्वकामाः.
न वागिदं राजर्ष्य वैद्यचित्रं भवत्सु कृष्णं समनुव्रतेषु योध्यासनं राजकिरीटजुष्टं सद्यो जहुर्भगवत्पार्श्वकामाः.
Anji, second line, first word, ye dhyasanam. You said ye dhyasanam.
ये ध्यासनं राजकिरीटजुष्टं. Thank you, Rajesh.
न वा इदं राजशिवर्ष्य चित्रं भवत्सु कृष्णं समनुव्रतेषु एत्यासनं राजकिरीटजुष्टं सद्यो जहुर्भगवत् पार्श्वकामाः
Maybe
कामाः. Sorry.
do maybe one more and then I'll take a couple minutes to see the meanings. Sarve vayam tavat ihasma hedya, comma, kalevaram yavadaso vihaya, lokam param virajaskam vishokam, comma, yasyatyayam bhagavata pradhanah. सर्वे वयं तावदिहास्महेद्य कलेवरं यावदसौ विहाय लोकं परं विरजस्कं विशोकं यास्यत्ययं भागवत प्रधानः.
सर्वे वयं तावद्विहाय स्महेध्ये कलेबरं यावदसौ विहाय लोकं परं विरजसकं विशोकं यास्यत्ययं भागवत प्रधानः.
Can you just say the first line, first half again?
सर्वे वयं तावद्विहास्महेध्ये
Hedya.
हेद्य. Thank you,
Rajesh ji, is it Tavad V? Is it a DV or just Tavadi, DI?
It's Tavad Ihasma. It's a
Okay.
DHI Ihasma, but you can break it as Tavad Ihasma Hedya.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
सर्वे वयं तावत् इहास्महेद्य कलेवरं यावदसौ विहाय लोकं परं विरजस्कं विशोकं यास्यात्ययं भागवतः प्रधानः. Sorry.
Okay, we'll stop there today. I'll just complete the meaning quickly. I said about 14 to 15. I want to finish it till 24 for a reason. So anyway, so Parikshit come and says, that tells to the sages, please accept me. I'm completely surrendering myself. I have no other choice. Surrendering to you. I'm surrendering to the Ganges here, because Ganges is a representation of the Lord also. And then, whatever takshaka or whatever bird biting, whatever happens, doesn't matter because I'm completely free from all the worries. I have no other choice, right? So, and then he also goes on to say, I pray that if I should take birth again, probably I will take birth again in this material world, then all the information, all this affection and love I have to Krishna and to all the devotees and all the beings, that may not be lost. Please bless me so that I can carry over all of those things into my next birth, right? Because I want to continue the association with Krishna and all of the devotees as well. So with that, in 17, he then sits on the dharba. He puts a straw of dharba grass, with it facing east. And then he sits on the south side of Ganges and he's facing north, right? So that's the place where he sits. And if you remember, in Narayanam, this Prachina Barhishit was there, where he did all these homams with the dharba facing east, right? All the darbas pointing to east. Anyway, he also sits in a similar way. Darba facing east, he's facing north, and he's sitting there. And he had already given his kingdom to Janame, so he's ready now, right, for the next 7 days to just focus on Krishna. So when all this happens, everybody is kind of, all the sages are all, praising Parikshit, right? And then from 20, the sages are talking, saying that, what you are doing is absolutely, phenomenal because you've completely given up everything. And, they also consult, right, with each other to say, we want to be spending time with Parikshit, so we have to help him here. And they not only bless Parikshit, they tell him, Parikshit, you don't worry. You sit here and do what you're doing for 7 days. We will give you company here, right, with you for 7 days. That's what they're actually telling. And once everything is there, then Parikshit then asks them 2 questions in 24. He says, thanks a lot for all of you being here, all that. He says 2 questions. Can you please tell me what is the correct duty that everybody has to perform in all circumstances, which is very similar to what Yudhishthira asked Bhishma, Kodharva Sarva Dharmana, right? So what is one duty that everybody should do every time? Most importantly, for me, for a person who's specifically about to die, what is the most important duty? So that is what Parikshit first asks those sages, but then he's going to ask the same question later. Shuka Brahmam is going to come. So from 25, Shuka Brahmam is making an entry. So we'll stop the class here today. And the same questions Parikshit will ask him at the end of this chapter again. Shri Hare Namaha, Shri Hare Namaha, Shri Hare Namaha. Gopika Jeevana Smaranam Govinda Govinda. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Kahena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat. Karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Rajesh.
Bye, everyone.
Rajesh, bye.